Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not to be trusted. Everybody around me thugging. Everybody around me drugging. Everybody around me hustling. Everybody know not to bring no new rigging around me. They say I be bugging. Got racks in the go-yard luggage. Just because I love you, it don't mean I trust you. Everybody not.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is another episode of Uncut with Q, and I'm your host, Quentin Flores. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about pretty much all things entrepreneurship, mindset, and fitness, man. And I love it, dude, because you guys have been showing us so much love on the podcast lately, and I want to give back as much as I can. And we talk a lot about real estate, and we always talk about wholesale, and that's all cool and everything, man. But no business that you operate is going to operate unless you're not operating. And so I think that a lot of people, especially myself, when I got into business, I neglected the crap out of my health, dude. Yeah. Like legit, I was eating like shit. I was just, man, I'm telling you, man, I was fucking just down in burgers. Whataburger was my idea of company culture. And in doing so, I gained a lot of weight. So a lot of you have been following me for a long time. I'm down 200 pounds. I'm still working at it, and I've been getting it every single day. If you follow me, you know I wear my heart on my sleeve. You can see all of the things that we have going on. I mean, dude, there's a freaking gym in my office. Like, that's pretty much about how serious I take this, you know? So, like, for me, man, like, I think fitness would have been the first thing that I would have invested in prior to actually starting a business, because most people start the business and then neglect their health. And so maybe we'll talk about that in today's podcast. But if you're your first time watching this, you already know that we have a fee. And the fee is pretty simple, all right? So if you get value from this podcast, all I ask is that you share this with a family or friend or somebody, or on the internet, wherever. Post it, tag us, show us some love, man. We're not running ads or anything like that on the show. It's completely for the people. And, you know, I try to do as many of these as possible. So I appreciate you guys showing love. If you get value from this, share the show. And so with that being said, man, I got a guest that just came in from Austin, Texas. Go on ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
Appreciate you, Q. My name's Coach Matty J, or Matt Johnson. Appreciate you having me on, man.
For sure.
And coming to talk about weight loss transformation. I had a huge transformation myself, and I'm actually originally from San Antonio.
Amazing.
And I think, you know, the city, the culture was a big influence on how we even got to, you know, where we were. So that's what I'm excited to talk about. And
did your fitness journey start here or in Austin?
It started for me when I actually went away to college in Abilene. So I went off to I got rolled up on. I gained all this weight from playing football. Gained a bunch of weight. I was drinking alcohol at an early age, and eating. I remember my coach giving me crap for like eating McDonald's in the morning, and then I would drink a 32-ounce Big Red. If you're from San Antonio, you know Big Red. I was drinking that all the time, and I'd gotten pretty big, like 230, but a soft 230. And I went off to college, and I was just like, I made a promise to my mom. I was like, look, I'm not gonna be trying to do all the normal college stuff, party and stuff. I'm gonna just get in school, and then I'm gonna hit the gym. So I was just a nut, man. I was hitting the gym like 3 times a day, just implementing the things that I'm a kinesiology major, so I'm going to class, learning the things, and I would just implement them. I mean, I had a calf, I had all these things, and I just started just attacking it relentlessly.
Dude, I saw on your page, so I went and I went, guys. So if you're here and you're watching this, y'all got to follow this dude. He's insane. And so I went to your page, man, and I saw this video, and it looked like you were prepping for like a bodybuilding competition, right? Or
Yes.
something of the sort.
Yeah. So I'm actually also NFF and PMBA pro. So in the bodybuilding space, you know, there's normal bodybuilding, there's natural bodybuilding. I'm in that natural bodybuilding category. We don't need to dig into that.
That's great. No, dude, it's great.
Yeah.
Almost everybody that competes at a bodybuilding level is on juice.
Exactly.
Then I love that they have like full-blown competitions for guys that are natty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not afraid to say it, bro. I supplement testosterone. Like, I do. And it's a natural thing if you have testosterone deficiency that is clearly impacting your mental health and your overall
100%
stamina. So, like, when I went to go get my testosterone checked, man, before I even got on juice, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to call it juice. It is what it is. But before I even got on testosterone, my test level was 76. 76.
Wow.
A woman who is healthy and in her young 20s
is higher than
is 250, 300.
Yeah.
You know, and so when you put this into perspective, man, mine was so bad. I was going to the gym, dude, and I was forcing myself to work out. Forcing myself.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you're supposed to be excited to go to the gym. Nobody ever taught me that. I
Has
just
some
always
sort of
thought
motive,
discipline
yeah.
trumped everything.
Exactly.
First it's hard, and then it gets easier over time, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, man, I applaud you, my friend, for doing it the natural way. It is definitely a testament. And how old are you, bro?
Appreciate it. I'm 27 years
27.
old.
This is prime right now. This is
I'm
prime.
Yeah, I'm like really stepping into it. I just had a son. I'm having another son actually. So I'm like in
Congrats, dude.
fatherhood, but like I've always stayed training. It's a lifestyle, right?
It is. It is. Most people, they do these 90-day challenge bull crap, man. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like, challenge for what? And then what happens when you're done?
Exactly.
You burn yourself out.
Exactly.
Right?
So
but
I did,
dude,
yeah, I did like my first PNBA show last year, and
I
then,
saw.
and then but I've done like 12 total over the last like 8 years, something like that. So, it's been a huge part of it. That was probably my biggest motive. I'd never seen my six pack before, never seen abs. I actually have a cousin that played for like the Saints and the Titans.
Yeah.
And then my uncle, he's from San Antonio originally. He got a Super Bowl with the Redskins. And
What?
Yeah, I got some family that they
Your
were just
uncle is a
athletic
Super Bowl
freaks.
ring holder. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
The 90s?
AJ Johnson, Redskins, prime Redskins. I forget what year it was, or Commanders. Prime
Let's say Redskins, man. Come on, it's the Redskins for life, dude. I can't do no Commanders, bro.
Prime Redskins, and yeah. So I just had those athletic freaks. I'm like half African American, half Hispanic. So
Wow.
Cultural side Hispanic, African American side, the athletics, the competitive side of me, the achiever mentality part of me kind of stems from the my family there. But yeah, I mean, I was the runt. I was the run. I was the slowest. All those things. So like
What?
when I went off to college, I'm like, okay, I'm my own person now. I don't need to. I guess go off this way of thinking. I kind of had an epiphany. Like I was in college and I'm learning and I'm seeing other people struggle with class, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just getting this. Like, okay, if I just apply myself, my energy, whatever I want to do, I'm just going to do it. And at the time, my biggest problem was with my self-image. I remember, women are known for, like, they put an outfit on, they look in the mirror, they mess with it a little bit, they take it off, they go put another. I was doing that at 18 years old. And that's not what I'm trying to spend my time and energy doing. And I just already knew that there was a problem with me ever being successful in anything if I didn't fix that. So fitness was like, that was what I had to lock in on. I was like, I gotta really unveil what this is, see what I can do. And I think within a year from like getting injured, having these surgeries, everything, putting on all that weight, within a year I did my first bodybuilding show. I got like second, but
Still amazing, man. Getting on the stage is a huge feat, bro. I plan on doing the transformation competition for Summer Shred next year. So it's going to be like my thing where I show my befores and where I'm at now, and I go up there with all my saggy skin and all of my glory, and I flex.
Oh, yeah,
I have
dog.
a friend, bro. His name is I have a friend. His name is Anthony, and Anthony, he has a company called Heavy to Modified, right? And so Heavy to Modified is like a brand that talks about people that are extremely overweight that have a drastic weight loss, right? And so their weight loss, my friend Anthony, he was almost 680 pounds. He weighs like 250 now.
Holy cow.
He was on Dr. Phil. He was on the Steve Harvey show. He did a little bit of everything, man. And so, like, I love Anthony so much because to me, dude, he's just like, he was the guy who influenced me to get into health. But he just competed at Summer Shred and got 4th place. But there was a dude that was like 800 pounds, bro, that had a massive transformation that I think got 1st place.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. You know, being 600 pounds is a feat in its own.
Totally.
Me being 427, that was the heaviest that I ever was before I ever stopped drinking alcohol, before I ever got into health. And that right there, to me, was such a hard thing to lose, bro. And I've spent years of my life going to the gym not seeing results, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't until I hired a trainer like yourself that I dialed in and got it right, bro.
Yeah, and that's that's the thing. And even when you step on stage, like the trophy and everything's nice, but what you really walk away with is an understanding, like knowing that you have it in here in your heart to actually make things happen for yourself. And that's probably the most valuable thing, because if you can, really lock in and diet like that and really put in the time in the gym, but like to follow a diet, and sometimes when you're really focused, it can get pretty repetitive. So it's not like it's the easiest journey. So just to go through that and to step on stage and actually follow through on a goal, I feel like you're already putting yourself in the higher percentage of people. A lot of people, I mean, I'm from San Antonio. I know so many people that talk about losing weight that don't follow through or that give up. And I've posted some I think some funny stuff recently about that
fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
I think I love it, man. It's a cool spin. Most people, they kind of just talk about the motivation part. I like how you're taking like you're showing your heart when you do those, like you're showing that like this doesn't have to be a tedious process. You can make weight loss fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love that was something that I saw in your video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like everyone, I don't know, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm fitness, so I guess my algorithm and my environment of people, my network is all people trying to achieve, working really hard and doing that. In that community, you find a lot of people taking themselves extremely seriously, which is fantastic, right? To have like self-respect, but I just like to bring, some lightness to it and be like, yeah, we're all still human beings. And it's just, life. And, go after your dreams, but, relax. Just relax.
Chill.
Be relaxed about it. I come from a culture where it's like that, where my whole Hispanic side of the family is entirely obese. And
I
apologize if that bothers y'all.
No, bro, it's a common thing.
They're all obese. My
look
grandfather,
at any,
grandmother,
dude, the demographic of people, I buy houses, right? That's my thing. I love real estate. But the demographic of people that I find and meet, especially in this space that are in the weight loss space or the fitness space, most of them are Hispanic, bro. Legit. Like I run into a lot of guys that are just starting their gym journey that are overweight and Hispanic. Exactly. And that's just San Antonio. San Antonio has some of the most unhealthy foods that you can eat in the entire United States, bro. You literally can't swing a dead cat around without smacking a taqueria de Jalisco. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
And so, dude, the tacos are so fucking available.
Yeah.
The breakfast tacos, they're covered with cheese, grease. Nobody cares about nutrition here, man.
Exactly.
It's an eating place. It's hard to stay and maintain yourself here.
So that was probably the biggest thing is, when I moved to Austin, it's a huge, San Antonio is an eat and drink culture, right? And you're talking frozen margaritas, sweets like crazy, and like you said, taquerias on every corner. In Austin, it's definitely a food and drink town, but it's more, the culture's different versus San Antonio's indulge in the most, this food should basically give you a heart attack, versus in Austin, it's a culinary experience. You're trying something different, and it's a moderate serving size, and the ingredients of the food are, appreciated, valued, and all the restaurants are competing at that level. I was just saying, on the way over here, I'm like, it's pretty hard to compete with a $2 taco that everybody can just rely on
versus a $10 meal prep.
The culture exactly, versus if the culture shifted towards the ingredients in that taco being better, I don't know, would the consumer be upset if the tacos went from $2 to $7, but it was grass-fed carne asada, or you know what I mean, and actually fresh rolled tortillas, and they were cooking with avocado oil instead of seed oils and stuff like that. So
God, I love that, dude.
It's there's just a mindset shift that, I don't know, it's pretty hard to instill that across millions of people, but
my friend Anthony spoke on that when he was on the podcast. He told me that the main thing that was the hardest thing was replacing bad ingredients with good ones. That was number one. And then the second one was replacing negative habits with good ones. Exactly. That was tough. And I asked him, I said, what do you mean by that, right? And this is Anthony speaking through me right now. He said, you got to think about what's in your food and then how you can do the same thing, but better, right? And so actual quality of the food, where it comes from. You mentioned grass-fed cow, right?
Yes.
Nobody thinks about that when they're making carne guisada.
Exactly.
Just the reality of it. And then the habit part. Instead of sitting down and watching a Netflix show, right? Reward yourself, but first do a 45-minute walk around your neighborhood, then watch that Netflix show.
Exactly. Or just, you know, break out and do like, you know, some push-ups or something while you're
In
doing
between.
it. I was working in the office all day the other day. I could barely break away, you know, doing programs and stuff. My wife's like, yo, you've been in the office all day. It's time for us. I didn't get up at 4 that day to hit the gym. So I have my parallettes in the thing. We're watching, you know, we're doing the show, but, you know, getting some exercise in. So I understand, you know, how spending the family time or like having, you know, especially for people that are like married or partners, I understand sometimes your woman just like, or your partner, they just want your presence around them, but you can be present and like be hitting some dips. And I bet it probably like excites things.
Bro.
I don't know. I don't have any women problems as far as like
man,
the
I was with the
fitness.
same woman for 10 years for
Totally.
a long time, right? And so commitment's a big deal to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been single now for literally a year as of a couple of days ago. And dude, my ex-wife would tell me these things. Now, I was never married, but I'm gonna refer to her as that because you might as well be married
Yeah.
when you're with someone that long. But I remember this, right? And I'll say this on a podcast. She used to tell me that I was so heavy that when we would make love, I would give her back problems.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Because
You don't
I'm
want
over
that.
here 400 plus pounds fucking squashing her. Not metaphorically, like not the good squash. Not the good squash. I'm
He's
talking about the
not
bad
smashing.
one.
He's
You
not
know,
sma-
and I shit
he's
you
not
not, dude.
smashing the
It
right
was
way.
that bad.
Yo.
And so like,
That's crazy.
you know, she always beats me up about it. She's just like, you waited until we broke up to get sexy. And I was like,
damn.
no, I didn't. Like I was always in the mindset, but the real drop in weight happened after we had broke up and I really took the gym
Yeah.
part seriously. Because to me, the gym was like a funnel as a way to deal with depression. You know, so like rather than just sitting there in my emotions, I took that energy and put it in motion. So like whatever negative feelings that I had toward the breakup, I drove them into productive action. I call it a production pivot. And so, you know, I took whatever I was feeling and I gripped the weights harder. I lifted harder. I ran longer and I just ate better and I wanted to be a better human, you know, so I filled myself with God, filled myself with nutrients, filled myself with vitamins, and I started really pumping myself with good things, books, habits, because your diet, bro, ain't always what you eat. It's also
Totally.
what you put in your
Consume.
mind.
Everything you consume,
Yep.
is what you become. Totally.
And that was a
100%.
big shift for me, dude. But you're right, bro. Like legitimately, like being overweight is not fun. And anybody who is allowing their partner to be overweight, you don't love them unless you hold them accountable, man. Like
Yeah.
that's the reality. Like if I care about you, if you're watching this and you're seeing this and you're overweight, take this as me picking you up, not putting you down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to make a change. It's time to make a shift. It's time to take care of yourself, bro, because we only get one body.
Yeah.
Right?
And I mean, yeah, what I want to help people out with the most is I was recently at a HEB over my mother-in-law. She lives in Converse. I was over at HEB on Walsham. They're doing new construction on it. I walked through there to grab, like, I was grilling for Father's Day. I was grabbing some charcoal or something. And I noticed, look, there's no, like, grass-fed beef options here. I went to go grab grass-fed beef. I had to go to a different HEB for it because it looked like nobody even purchases it, so I didn't even know if it was good. And they only had, like, a seafood counter. They didn't have a beef counter. They didn't have, everything had seed oils. Everything had high fructose corn syrup. And so I think in these communities, the most important thing is, I love America and I love like capitalism. Food capitalism is like the only part I feel like is fucked up. But like as a consumer though, if we can get educated and then we can start choosing, voting with our dollars, because I feel like at that HEB on Walsham, the only reason why they didn't have, you know, avocado oil based products, grass fed beef is probably because the surrounding area doesn't even know or purchase any of those things. So HEB is just trying to make sure they cover their, you know, their
The
bottom,
economy.
Yeah, their bottom
Yeah.
line. So it's like, but if we can get people more educated, either in school or just in general, people just start seeking more and understanding that most of the food is poisoning you. You need to really change how you eat and just spend a little extra time in the grocery store thinking about that. That's what's gonna create a cultural shift. Actually, is how we consume. Like I said about the tacos thing, people, you know, spending their money on for a little bit more.
Yep. It's understanding portion control and,
Yeah.
and really just switching one ingredient with another.
Exactly.
It tastes the fucking same. It really does.
Even better.
Exactly.
I was at the barber shop and I was talking to a guy about, everywhere I go, talk about grass-fed, grass-finished beef. It's a huge thing. It changed my life. For a big time, I started bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, as you know, you start with weight. You do a radical diet. You lose weight. In that, though, you're in such a calorie deficit for so long.
Lose the muscle.
That you lose muscle, and because of most bodybuilding diets, you're kind of micro deficient, or you have micronutrient deficiencies. So these are like the small things, the trace minerals that we don't really think that much about, that actually make a huge difference in why you feel cravings, why you over consume, all these things. So I always go around talking about this, because for the longest time in my personal training career, people are like, wow, Matt, you get so shredded, can you maintain it? And I had basically submitted to the idea that no, you can't stay lean year round. Like, you can get shredded, that's great, but you're gonna have to add some body fat back on.
It's healthy for you
to do it, which I definitely think fat is healthy for you.
Correct.
And I wanted to go into, but it is actually possible to be lean year round. It's just more based on the types of foods that you're eating, right? So if you're eating foods that lack micronutrients, if you're eating foods that lack like proteins and just all the things that are essential, you're going to have cravings, you're going to overconsume. And if you're eating some of these foods that are like ultra processed or have seed oils, those things are going to stimulate you over consuming also. So that's basically, I'm trying to get the word out as much as possible, like start making these changes like this, and the flexible dieting and stuff, it actually becomes a lot easier. You can eat a little bit more liberally as far as I guess calorically, but you still have to be really specific about what types of foods you're eating, but you're not sitting there counting the calories perfectly. If you go over 100 calories, it's not as big of a problem as if you're going over 100 calories eating things that are processed with seed oils or lack bioavailability and nutrients.
Dude, I'm so down to dive into this, all right?
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break
Yeah, go ahead.
real fast, and then we're going to jump
yeah.
right back in, all right? So if you're watching this and you're struggling with scaling your real estate business, we have a new product. It's called Jarvis, and Jarvis is there to help you guys out with organizing, using AI to scale and automate your systems and processes. There's done-for-you workflows that can essentially help you build your foundation for your business. And on top of that, it comes integrated with text messages and a dialer. So guys, if you're interested in trying out Jarvis, make sure that you go to justjarvis.com and get more information.
I want the check. Ooh. 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 I want the check. I want the check. Ooh. I want the check. Ooh. I want the check.
So when I first started my fitness journey, the first thing that I ever did, and is it Jay or Matty, or is it both?
Matty J, yeah.
Matty J.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man,
Formerly Fatty J.
that's crazy.
No more Matty J. Or
Let's
no
go,
more Fatty.
though.
No more Fatty J.
Let's
but
go,
formerly
man.
Fatty J.
That's an accomplishment. I saw your before and after, dude. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like two entirely different people, man. I just thought that nutrition at the time was just eating chicken, broccoli, rice, and then switching the protein. But I never thought about looking at what my food was, like where it was coming from.
Totally.
So I was using like frozen chicken in a bag. You get like 8 pieces processed chicken.
Exactly.
And so like, it was crazy, man. Like I'm over here thinking like, all right, let's drink protein too. And so I'd mix protein with milk, as most people do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not even really realizing this, but man, it wasn't until I got into nutrition that I realized that the food that I was eating was the root cause of why I had plateaued. Because I was doing the work,
Yeah.
but the food was what was making my testosterone level so low.
Exactly.
The thyroid health, the kidney health, the liver, right? I didn't know that these were all one. Like, these were all things that are one. And so in my head, I said, damn, you know, like, okay, well, what could this mean? And I remember the first time I ever got my blood work done and they told me all of the things that was wrong with me. My thyroid health was so bad. My liver was being taxed from the amount of creatine that I was taking and thus slowing down my metabolism. I didn't know that the enzyme count that I had was extremely low.
Yep.
So when you don't have high enzyme count and you're not chewing your food enough, I'd swallow it in whole. I've been taught my whole life to just scarf down food, you know, because we didn't have a lot of time to eat. And so, like, for me, man, I didn't know how bad that was. You know, guys, if you're watching this, you really chew your food, do it. Chew it for about a minute longer before swallowing. Because the enzymes is a probiotic that your body naturally produces that's inside of your spit. It's in your saliva. And so as you swallow your food with saliva too, the more that you chew your food, the more that not only are you assisting your body with breaking it down and actually transferring it into nutrients.
Yes.
I didn't know that protein absorption was a thing either. And nutrient absorption is a thing. Because you have to understand that it has to bypass your organs too. Right.
Exactly.
So like most people that just take vitamins, they think that they're taking vitamins and that it is healthy. It's not. Really, you have to take at least 6 months worth of vitamins to really feel it. And the only way that you're ever going to feel it 100% is if you literally inject your vitamins, which most people do in an IV bag drip.
Exactly.
So these were things that I didn't know, man. I didn't know. Like, nobody taught me about any of these things. And so I had been eating processed food, processed milk, processed chicken, like, and that was like a 2-year span of me eating like that. And then just me, like a combination of just fast food and then using the wrong oils and nutrients kept me at that weight, dude. It kept me at that weight and it kept my testosterone level low. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on everything there. I mean, the first thing is, like, first step, if you're trying to lose weight and you're being, if you're just being conscious about your food, that's a great start. But like you said, you'd hit a plateau and you're like, you know, at Y. And, you know, that's a huge contributor to, I mean, obviously the seed oils is like, that's a true epidemic. That's a true problem. I have some evidence, personally, that I've experienced a lot of stuff. Like, I've done a lot of different diets to kind of figure out, you know, what's supreme. Because like I said, I was always faced with that question: is there a way that you can eat and also like stay lean year round? And you know, as far as like the testosterone thing and feeling better, you know, they teach us that red meat is bad for us, and they teach us that saturated fats are bad for us, and that we should go more towards polyunsaturated fats. Well, the problem is with that is that saturated fats are actually like some of the building blocks for our hormones, which are, most of our hormones are fat soluble, as well as there's tons of micronutrients in grass-fed, grass-finished beef that are catalysts for all these processes that you mentioned. So I'm glad that you are actually seeing, you know, the results from this, and, you know, more people that are going through like major weight loss transformations can get an understanding from you that's been through it, that, hey, okay, me counting my calories at some point it's not going to be enough anymore. I need to really focus on
deeper.
Like, a little bit deeper into it. I mean, you can go as far as you want. People always tell me, you know, life's short, why worry about this, or isn't it expensive? And I'm like, isn't it more expensive to go through life not, you know, being optimal, not having like optimal self-confidence about your body, optimal energy levels, optimal recovery, all these things? Because, I mean, what you find, even people in the fitness community that, you know, they swear they're eating these things, what do they do to be optimal? They supplement hormones that if maybe it's not necessary for them, right? So
most people just do it to do it, bro. I know tons
exactly,
of guys in
vitamins.
the gym,
they take all these
they already
things.
look good and they go beyond, man.
Pre-workout,
it's crazy.
like, you know, you can get a lot of great energy if you just eat the foods that are really dense in the micronutrients. I was when I started my personal training career, I used to only have like a black coffee just to help me study. One day I was training. Man, I used to work at LA Fitness over off Bouleverde road. I would get there. I'd be training people at 5. I would have a couple like side inclines in between, and I'd be done by 9 p.m. So it was that every day for probably 3 years. 3 years or so. I kind of forgot where I was going with that.
We were talking about the micronutrients and the dieting.
Oh, exactly.
And
Okay, sorry, the natural energy from foods. So, I was having days like that. Well, I had a personal training director. He always had those Bang energy drinks when Bang was like first getting going, and I never, had one. And then I finally went ahead and had one day, and I was reciting everything like I was a textbook, and I was hooked like crazy from that synthetic caffeine. So fast forward 5 years, I was getting 900 sometimes milligrams of caffeine a day from taking pre-workouts, drinking C4s, all that stuff. And people were telling me, oh, it's bad for your heart, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know it's bad for your heart. And we I talk with clients about how it's wearing my adrenals down, and I was just like giving myself a pass, like I'm aware of it, so it's okay. Well, now that I've taken this different, more radical nutrition approach, I haven't had like a C4 or anything like that in almost a year and a half now.
Way to go.
I do like black coffee only, and mostly for the taste. And then, but what's great is that really focusing on the foods and having a variety of different fruits, eating the sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes is the one thing that they're telling you that's like one of the best foods. Sweet potatoes, the purple and the orange ones, those are fantastic. And then grass-fed ribeye, man. I'm telling you, grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye. You can feel amazing just off of that.
Yep, I've seen it. Like diets like the carnivore diet are really bringing out what good quality proteins can do for you, bro.
Yeah.
Because like legitimately, I mean, I'm not crazy into fad diets, but I've heard that the carnivore diet will show you how good proteins can be for you when you get there. And it definitely takes time, and studying different forms of meats and red meats. Because, fish is a red meat, turkey is considered a red meat, right? So these different types of meats and whatnot all stimulate the body in a certain specific type of way.
Totally.
Fish is rich in omega-3s. But, bro, like, thinking about all of this and putting it into perspective, man, I like that you're touching on this because this is real. Last year in November, I suffered a heart attack, and I almost died. Wow. I literally had to stop my heart and start it again. I technically died. I was dead for like 3 seconds. I had to do what's called a cardioversion. And what caused the cardioversion, bro, was literally the energy drinks. Yeah. I was drinking almost 3 of those primes a day, bro. And sometimes 4 or 5. Then doing my pre-workout when I go to the gym, and then I'm slamming aminos after I'm done, and then I'm doing all my creatine, and then also supplementing testosterone. Is a lot, man. And so all of these things mixed with stress and then things that happen in business and life piled in on me. And then the last night that this happened to me, I remember I was on 2 hours of sleep. I was already very tired, super stressed out. Business wasn't going my way. I had just lost a $100,000 deal, and I needed that money at that time.
Fuck yeah.
And so, that was weighing heavy on me. The Spurs had just started playing again. I remember this was like November. It was like late October, early November. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't sleep. And I could feel my heart all over the place. I thought I was having an anxiety attack, man. So what I decided to do to crash out was I just took a shot of cough and cold syrup. And that was it. When I woke up, my heart was all over the place, bro, because it was trying to process the cough and cold syrup, which is a sedative, the acetaminophen.
Yep.
Lowering your heart rate while the caffeine trying to keep the heart rate going. It didn't know which way to go.
Exactly.
And then combined with lack of sleep and stress, boom, I had a heart attack. Dude, and I'm 33. Yeah. And so, dude, thank you for bringing light to how bad energy drinks can be for you. My doctor told me that if I ever get back into caffeine again, it's just drink raw, straight, black coffee. Because there's so many probiotics and just benefits health-wise to that type of coffee, man. Yeah. It's crazy. And I think you dodged a bullet, bro. 900 milligrams of caffeine is like 4 times the limit.
Exactly. You get to a point, and it's part of, like, if you really get going in the fitness community and you're trying to, I understand why people use it. It's my job as like the coach, but also the scientist, to figure out how I can get you the best results with, protecting the most important muscles. Because we just think of, these
Biceps,
muscles and
triceps,
looking
quads.
good. Like, yeah, the six-pack is amazing, but the most important muscles are your heart and your brain. And you want those running optimally. The caffeine was not only, like, contributing to, like, anxiety, but also in, like, feeling, tired, and basically I'm needing the energy drink to get me through the day. But it was also, messing, with my mind. When I'm looking at the computer, that in a combination of, like, social media, but if you're on caffeine, you kind of, sometimes you won't focus on the right things, right?
Yep.
So you could be looking at the screen and then forget, what you're doing or what you're working on or anything. So it's that brain fog, right?
Yep.
So that's how I even got more into this. I was like, yo, I'm eating clean. I've gotten all the way down to 3% body fat before. I've done these things, but I need to figure out, how can I get the human body? How can I get myself, my brain, my heart, and be at the body composition I would like to be at, ideally, where I feel extremely confident about myself, through, diet manipulation. So I just starting is March of 2023,
Yeah.
I would just spend like the first 2 hours of my day like studying and listening to different people that had more radical views in like the nutrition space. And I also listened to people that have like they believed in like the animal-based type of eating and stuff, but they also talked about like, there's some coaches like Paul Saladino, he's like, he doesn't eat any vegetables. Well, there's some professionals out here that'll be like, well, you can have vegetables, they just have to be like fermented or soaked. Like you shouldn't, like, one thing is like kale, that's a huge thing. People are like, oh, if I eat kale or if I eat raw vegetables, that's good. I'm 27. I had from bodybuilding, you get really dehydrated, caused me to get hemorrhoids. So, and I was having raw greens in my smoothies all the time. And I was trying to figure out, like, what's causing the flare-ups, basically. Well, I cut out basically all types of raw greens. I don't have those problems anymore. It's kind of embarrassing. But,
That's crazy, though. But it's
yeah.
good that you identified
I'm not
it.
scratching my ass anymore.
That's amazing. Nah, dude, it's cool that you're open about it, because that happens to people.
Yeah.
Your body's going to react to whatever you're putting into it, and you have to address it. Otherwise, it gets out of hand.
Exactly. And, like, so a lot of the foods that, I mean, it's not like there's, like, a master plot to make people, like, sick or something. I would never say that. But I think we were like, oh, these foods are good, but we have to understand that even historically, people knew what to do with these foods, like raw leafy greens. They were soaked and then they made them in stews and such like that, and they were enjoyed like that. They weren't just eaten as salads. We don't do that. You know what I mean?
What's your opinion on Liver King and the ancestral tenets, man?
So I don't know his ancestral tenets. I know the Ten
Basically,
Commandments.
he eats the food raw, right? And so, like,
Yeah.
it's the testicles of the bull. He'll eat the liver raw.
Yep.
Then he'll eat, like, the specifics, like the bone marrow raw.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you think about eating raw meats like that. Because I
So-
heard that Homeboy got debunked recently because they found out that he was boosting testosterone.
So, as far as for his physique,
Yeah.
yes. Now, if you like analyze his health and performance, then there might be something. I personally eat some raw liver. I actually I was experimenting in the mornings. This is a rough routine, but I
Yeah.
would take some raw local honey, scoop it, and I'd put like an ounce of raw liver frozen on it, and I'd eat it.
Wow.
And I got you feel the benefits from the B12. You definitely feel the benefits from the heme iron. You can feel it through like your circulation and the muscle contraction. I mean, I've worked out hours and hours and hours to notice differences and things like that. Also, when I do things like this, I don't do too many things where I can't notice the difference. I actually have a big rule about training. If it makes only like a 5% to 10% difference, it's probably not even worth doing. But if I only really believe in things that make drastic improvements in performance, contraction, or weight loss.
Dude, I've been seeing
So,
it,
yeah.
man, and I love it. You know, like it's the different variations of health that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
When I had Kevin on here, we talked about fasting, and that was a thing. You're talking about micronutrients and the benefits of them. You know, man, guys, like we've had all kinds of guests on here that talk about their variations of fitness. The best advice that I could give to all of you guys, because the way I train might not be the way that you train, right? And this is something I think that I fully believe. I've taken bits and pieces of everything that has ever been taught to me, and I formulated what we backing it with science works for my body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what you did. You know what I mean? Well, if you could go back in time at the beginning of your fitness journey, what would be the one thing that you would change, that you wish you would have done then that you know now?
That's a fantastic question. The best thing I would have done is, I would say, be precise, or be more precise about the ingredients in the food. And I kind of, when I was at Texas State, I remember we were in the lecture hall, the professor, she's talking, and she was basically like, look, as far as nutrition goes, a lot of information, especially in the 2000s, is basically new. Everything from like the 1900s is like basically we're getting new nutritional information. New studies are coming out constantly, right? So really as far as modern civilization goes, like we're just really starting to understand our food. And so she was like, you're here right now as far as paranoia. The more you dive into this, just warning you, your paranoia is going to be like way up here. And at that point, you might even like find it hard to eat anything. Well, I kind of got lazy and was like, okay, I'm just going to do like what I know from my own research was like chicken, rice, eat protein, eat vegetables, and track the macros. But if I had specified like the micronutrient things more and the ingredients more, I probably would have had less weight fluctuation in off seasons. And I would have just have a better solution for people as far as them, like when I was helping people with their own weight loss, I wouldn't have excuse or things to say like, oh, that's just like a part of dieting, the low energy, you know what I mean? Or that's just like, those are the things I would change. Like, I guess I would change 2 meals of chicken to like a couple servings of steak instead of the grass-fed steak. That's what I would change ultimately.
Grass-fed's the business, bro. Any way you look at it, man. And I always like getting my grass-fed stuff from Whole Foods. You know, and grass-fed, they serve it at H-E-B too. H-E-B is like the GOAT place that you can get to in Texas. Just go to like a supermarket though where they actually get it from places like that. You know what I'm saying? And because processed meats, bro, like I don't trust Walmart when it comes to meats at all.
Yeah. I was in there the other day, and the one thing is like if you are looking, it says grass-fed, you want to make sure it says grass-finished too. But you can't escape death though. You can't escape it. We're all gonna find our time's gonna come.
Yep.
But like if you're really trying to solve some problems, then it's worth diving deeper. Like you can solve a lot of your problems as far as physically and physiologically with your food.
Yep. Take that, guys, and run with it. Man, Matty, I really appreciate you driving in, bro, and just showing your game on all of this, guys. Grass-fed is GOAT. Make sure you guys are looking at your ingredients on a micro level. I appreciate you being on the podcast. For everybody that's watching this, man, how can they get a hold of you, bro?
Yeah, so check me out on Instagram, Coach Matty J, and then my website is radfitnesspt.com, and it shows like all the people that I've helped over the years, drop hundreds of pounds of body fat and get in the best shape of their lives. So that's
get
what
a coach, y'all. Get a coach. That is the ticket right there. I wish I would have paid for a coach a long time ago. It wasn't until I hired a coach like my guy Matty J here that my life didn't, like, honestly, like that, the coach changed my life. You can do so much on your own. You can do a lot more when you have somebody who's pushing you.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
100%.
So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being on my show.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
see you guys
Thank
on the
you
next
for having
one.
me, brother.
I want the check.